Hello, everyone. This is Scotland's Burning the way that we do it in the Johnny Hamil bass studio. After I finish it, I will talk about how to get some of the other ones out. Here's the intro. Good. So the studio adds the false harmonic for the fourth octave, and then I end up with the lowest one with the idea that sometimes they add that in when you're going progression through George Vance books. It tells you to go here and here, and then after in book 2, after She May Save Grace, it goes to sixth position. I want to remind everybody that these higher positions are easier to play if you're standing correctly and you understand the speed, weight, and placement of the bow. I'll talk about that in a different one, or you can do it in a lesson with one of your instructors. But this position, the false harmonics are very simple. I found that you could probably start this sooner than you finish book 2, so you don't have to wait till Sarabande and Bagatelle if you're in a group class and the kids just start playing that, and it's fine, because that's a lot of memorization. All they have to do is this. First they play the G. You play it with your thumb, and then you replace it with your third finger, so it should be the same note. So I have everybody make sure they practice that once. Consistently making sure that the bow stays exactly the same placement and speed and weight. Same note. And then all you do is lightly touch the G down to the string. Now, you do slightly depress the string down, but it's not pushing it all the way down to the fingerboard. It doesn't need that. It just needs a little bit of an indentation. If the thumb note is on a harmonic, natural harmonic, which this is on a G right now, then you don't need to push. You can lightly touch really much, which is the last note of this, which is the last note of Sarabande. So you don't have to push this one down because it's a natural harmonic. So this one's actually easier to get to come out. The main thing is make sure your bow is going down into sixth position, even though your left hand is in fourth. Okay, so then that, I usually have everybody do that exercise to start with for a week. And then I tell them to do that 5 out of 5 times. So if they can do that 5 times, and even try with their eyes closed. Let's hear it goes. What's nice about having people close their eyes and not try to play a song is that it increases your probability that you're going to not slow the bow down, which is the number one reason why the false harmonics don't come out, is that when you start thinking about how wide this is, it's really not that wide. It's about the same distance as going G to C here. So it's not that big of a deal. And so it's pretty common shape of there, like that's common shape of your hand. So it's very natural, easy for your left hand to find, and now I just showed you where it is on this fingerboard. It's nice. So that makes the geography of your left hand easy. The hardest part is to keep the bow going, or at least I find. Again, I would review your speed, weight, and placement, and your physical posture to play up high, or you're going to struggle with that. Okay, so then the next exercise I do is this one, where this part of Scotland's Burning, and then I just do that. And I just make sure that the highest note comes out. Now, Scotland's Burning's with your second finger. Third finger actually works better for this distance here, although you can get it with your second finger, but it allows you just to go farther back down. So third finger is not too hard of a substitution for the D. So first you just play the song with your third finger. And then you substitute it, and then that should open you up to being able to play. Again, I would do that 5 out of 5 times. I would practice that before I start playing the songs. Most of including myself, love playing the songs in false harmonics because they're really helpful. But when it comes down to it, you're really just thinking about your bow hand, which is nice. The other secret to making it ring more up high is that, or at least Francois has taught me, that if he kind of moves the bow he pulls the bow towards himself, and then he's moving the bow down here very fast. And then lastly, a lot of times you'll watch him and he kicks these 2 fingers off. You don't need these 2 fingers. It's like you're pinching the string, and it reduces the weight of the bow. Again, you're almost in the violin range, so pick up a violin bow, and the bow should be very light to get the higher upper harmonics. A lot of orchestra bows are really heavy because they think they're just playing down here. But once you learn to manage the bow, it gets easier. And then if you need a heavy bow, you can get one. Lastly, I'd say this is the first natural harmonic, and the note is really just whatever your third finger is on. There's one other thing about the harmonics that you want to remember, that once you go here, if you use your second finger, you get the next overtone, and then you have another one here. And they didn't come out so well. Anyway, those all start to kind of come out when you're messing around with the notes. What I find is, if I, like George Vance, and naming the notes up here in the harmonics, if you just learn the note by ear, but you play it here, here, and here, then it's easier for you to just know what letter you're on. So these first false harmonics are the easiest one to figure out what the pitch, the letter pitch is, so that way when you're reading the false harmonics, or just trying to find a harmonic, a lot of times the notation is still a little bit unsteady, or not as accurate. Sometimes they write the note, the pitch they want, and they don't write it as a false harmonic symbol, and you're just supposed to figure it out. So if you know the letters, it really will help. And it's, false harmonics are mysterious, or they were to me until I met Francois. And now I think they're fairly easy to do. They offer a lot of good things as far as bow control and thing. But anyway, if I wanted to play the scale, D, you would go E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp. And that allows you to play all 12 keys, whatever pitch you want. Just staying in those keys are nice, because then I just have everybody, all of my students, play most of the George Vance Book 1 songs up here. So. Okay, so you know, as long as it's the 6 notes of twinkle, it's super easy to play all those and the harmonics. So you can play this song. Like that. I think I kind of messed up, but I'm not going to redo this video. So that's important to remember, because then you can take any tune that you like and play false harmonics, which is a nice natural self-discovery of how everything works. So it's not so difficult, and it unleashes that easy part of whatever it is. And of course, if you don't know, Francois out of book 4, Quai Ferré Jacques. That's his basically composition based on that theme, and he was listening to a lot of the young bassist George Vance camps and stuff like that to play the Mahler, which is Ferré Jacques in the minor key, and he kind of went nuts with it and made it super virtuosic, which means you can do that whatever song you want. Enjoy. Bye.